now. So that is the thing. But if one man really want to change this mass mentality, like it is not like all the people are bad, but they are good. Some part they have good, but another side they have selfishness. But at the same time, we have to convince them that if you vote a good person, only you are getting a good administration, not for small selfishness, electing a wrong one. How you can? What is your suggestion about like changing a mass mentality and convincing them towards a good?
Beautiful. I like that. I tell you, I was at the Academy of Management in the US, which is supposed to be a very big body of all management experts from across the world. It's the highest body in the field of management. 71 years old. So I was there in July of 2007, this year itself. And we had a lot of the scholars, researchers, and all those things from 80 countries, no, 110 countries, actually 8,000 people. And there were a lot of panel sessions happening. So I went through that whole thing, and I found a very interesting thing because I'm into management and also Chanakya is into politics. So this subject of research interested me, and I went for that session, paper presentation. You know what is the subject? Emotion that run during election times. And this was not an Indian. So I went through that, and then I realized this is a very interesting subject. Emotions during election time, and what I realized, across the globe, there is no logic in democracy who becomes a king, including Obama. You may know it logically, this is the best guy, but you will be surprised the day you vote, the moment you vote, it could be something else. Doesn't it happen? There are a lot of people who are brilliant, but no people don't know. And the other side, there are people, criminals and all, they can vote it again and again and again. So what is happening is that many people say Indians are very emotional, therefore. So what is really happening is it's also a research subject, which I am also thinking probably where is the solution. But let me tell you, it is not about who becomes a leader. My question is not who the leader he or she may be, does he actually work for the subjects? And I'll tell you, you also said in your own words, nobody is 100% perfect, nobody is 100% bad. You remember now, of course, Christmas is coming. Jesus said, the first man should be the one to hit the stone who himself has not committed any sin. You remember that? Did anybody hit it? So no politician is 100% bad or 100% good. Yes. But you know what? The so-called bad politician framed and said as a bad politician by this group like us intellectuals, for somebody they are ultimately God, isn't it? So this mass actually works for them. Now, coming back to your key question, what is the solution for our country? This country has various type of leaders, and it's a very funny country because of caste and different type of religions and thinking. Suddenly, the world is looking at, and India is looking at somebody like Anna Hazare, who's not a political leader, isn't it? And we respect somebody like Abdul Kalam, who technically is not the president of India, right? And you'll be surprised that Abdul Kalam's schedule is more busy than the current president, which is also a good signal. So my angle of looking at this particular solution is that, well, my next generation of politicians will also be like that. My question is not about a present generation. I always tell you, the so-called bad politicians, they're generally 60 years and above. 60 years and above. Mr. Advani and people like that, 80, 88 and above. Now there is something which is interesting in our theory called as Kala Chakra. They सब मर जाएंगे इस साल में. They will not exist. But my question is that what about the next generation of politicians? You'll be surprised. We do training programs for the next generation of politicians. I don't want to take this as a example, because this is not a marketing platform. I thought about this. I don't blame the current system because सब में से मैं कुछ अच्छा मिला है और सब में कुछ बुरा भी है. We actually run a leadership development program in a Mumbai university where we have selected 15 students from all over India. We train them, we teach them the full Arthashastra. They stay in the Mumbai University campus for 6 months. They travel all over India, and interestingly, they are placed in political parties. So this is the institute. So do visit our website. If you want to apply, you can also apply. For creating next generation of leaders. Please understand it's a free course. First student, it takes us 4 lakh rupees. When people say, how do you get to manage the funds? People sponsor it. Because there is a high demand in the society for great leaders, but nobody is ready to create that. So my question is that, can we be the leaders? And yes, as a teacher, my question is that, can my students be the one? What we have done is, interestingly, 3 of my students are going to contest for 2014 elections. And if they go in, today's problem with the politicians is that nobody is there to correct them, isn't it? isn't it? Tell this fact. Can somebody go and say slap him or him or her and say you're wrong? A common man does, it's a problem. But if a teacher does, they say that good. A teacher should correct. That's why when Chandragupta is doing wrong, Chanakya is there. When Shivaji do something wrong, Ramdas is there. Today the combination is not about leadership. Leadership guided by a great teacher. My question is that, can I be the teacher to create the next generation? And if they are wrong, first of all, I have to be right. My question is not about 2010, 11, 12, 15. My question is about 2020 and 22 and 25. Then, I just like to wind up saying that there is a line. How do you make this line smaller? A lot of corruption. How do you make it smaller? Don't worry about this line. Make another line longer than this. So this line, this corruption is a matter of time. My question is that will corruption continue? Can we invest in the future? Can we invest in children? Can we invest in education? Can we invest in knowledge? And probably I think you should come and I will be more than happy to discuss this in 2025. And if the problem exists, I think it's still a problem, we need to work out on that. Thank you. Next question. Let's have, since 15 minutes are given, let me take a couple of more questions. Yes, sir. You can keep the lights on, sir, because I can't see the person. Yeah.
Sir, you said two things. That before starting anything, we have to look what are the reasons for the failure of that organization. And also you said that the organization should be get more fame than the leader. So Chanakya's organization was Akhanda Bharat.
Yes.
Chanakya got more fame than Akhanda Bharat, and also Akhanda Bharat failed. So what should we learn? Like why Akhanda Bharat failed after Ashoka?
Okay. Let me actually tell that what is the meaning of Akhanda Bharat first of all. See, it's not about just Bharat or India. You know, if you study the world history, the geographical boundaries keep changing. Do you know that? So, like if you look at Germany, they split into two, they became one. Maybe if you go back 100 years, India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, everything was one. They got split. Today we have India versus Pakistan. Then you never know. Some new politician will come and say, I want to separate the Khalistan, this, that, all those things. So my question here, if I were to address is that the nation geographically keeps changing from generation to generation. Because there is always selfish thing that I want more power, etc. Look at what is happening. Within India, we say we want to separate state. You never know they want to separate country, etc. But what's very important for a politician or a teacher to ask is not whether the geographical boundaries are changing, but whether the culture is the same. So when we talk about something called as an Akhanda Bharat or Chanakya, it is not the geographical boundaries, it's a culture called spirituality. So, you'll be surprised to know that Pakistan's official defense site, please go through it, actually has got mention of Chanakya. Because for them, Chanakya is the same thing. And technically they are perfect because Takshashila is in Pakistan. Today, what is Pakistan's history beyond 1947? The same history that we talk about. So my question about Akhanda Bharat, you never know, the same people sitting over here after maybe 50 years would go and say, let's have India, Pakistan as one. As some people decide there should be split. There are a lot of theories going on saying that India and China has to be one. Let's create a geography as one. So about me, Akhanda Bharat is not about geographical boundaries, it's about a common culture. If you believe that this culture, this Sanskriti, is about something that we believe in, then geographies keep changing when the culture happens. Interestingly, some of the best practiced Indian culture that we talk about is not by Indians, isn't it? Somebody sitting in US actually values the culture more. If you go to Bali in Indonesia, they are better Hindus than what we talk about. I'm not going to go by religion, but what I'm saying is that today we are finding that Indian culture as a yoga, as a system. So for me, the Akhanda Bharat is beyond geography. So let me wind up saying about Osho. Read this book called as India, My Love. Beautiful book. And the opening statement is so beautiful. He says, for me, India is never history or geography. It's not about the cameras. It's not about the food that you eat. It's about the feeling that God still exists. The feeling that the ultimate is beyond this body. The feeling that there is something called as permanency. And what our Shastras say, Amritasya Putra. We are children of that great culture where immortality is not of the body. It's not about beautifying the body alone, but our ideas can be permanent for life. If that is Akhanda Bharat, I am sure Chanakya can help you. Last question.
I have a very basic question regarding the
who is the person? Can you thank you so much.
a very basic question regarding
Chanakya says that a person should not be too honest, as the straight ways are first. So what is your say on that? These are two very different opinions.
Very good. I like that question. You must have seen this being forwarded in emails and SMS. Nobody should be too straight because the straight creeds are cut first. And then there is this whole thing about a king or a leader should be very straightforward and honest, etc. Actually, it is a reference to context. This is very interesting and a very good dimension you have given. Actually, this is worth a debate, a discussion which would last for at least 10 days according to me. It's worth a debate and a discussion. You should not agree what I am saying. But let me come back to your question about what does Chanakya say. See, Chanakya is a very interesting person, the most misquoted person in India. So this SMS पढ़ोगे तो सबको लगता है अरे you should never be honest. At the same time, Aರ್ಥशास्त्र he says you should be philosophically grounded. Now why am I saying it is reference to context? It depends on the situation. Leadership is not about what you do every time. It's also the different decisions that you take during that crisis moment. So let me put it in a very simple way. A situation. Imagine you are an old man and you are supposed to be that Dhritarashtra, that Yudhishthira who is called to be Dharmaraj. You are in a village and Jindagi mein kabhi jhoot nahi bola hai. Respected in the village. You are 95 years old, you can't walk. You are staying. And you have this particular habit. Every evening you will come, you will sit under the tree and think about God, and whoever wants to come will ask you a few questions, and as a village old man, you will give you your spiritual sufferings and go. So one day, imagine in the evening you are sitting and under this banyan tree or whatever the tree, old man, and all these people are gone, and you are saying another 5-10 minutes I'll leave. Suddenly you see a young girl running towards you. Bachao, 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 beta. Do gunde mere piche aa rahe. Those gunda also from the same village. Bachao, bachao, they're behind me. I will keep protecting you. The old man says, beta, yahan pe jao. Go take this road. Next this gundas come. They kahan gayi wo ladki? Kahan gayi ladki? We want that girl. The old man says, wahan gayi. Think about it. What he said, was it truth or untruth? Second part of the question is not over. What he said, was it truth or untruth? But the next question to ask is that what he did, was it right or wrong? उसने सच बोला कि झूठ बोला? Girl is here, girl वहां पे गई. Technically speaking, was it the truth or untruth? Untruth. Straight. No, it's two opposite directions. But tell me one thing: as you as an older man who can't protect the girl, you have something called as a Brahmastra. You know what is a Brahmastra? तुमने जिंदगी में कभी झूठ नहीं बोला. You can use that Brahmastra actually to protect that girl, and those guys will believe you. Did you do right or wrong? And this is the leadership question. Dharma, adharma, satya, asatya depends on what your intention is. Now, if you told the truth or untruth, the question to be asked that while taking that decision of telling the truth or untruth, was it a selfish decision or not? Did you tell a lie for yourself or for that girl, to protect that girl? That is why when Krishna directs Yudhishthira, good bolo, kaun mariya? That was the only instrument that he had, satya vachan bolne wala. So Yudhishthira was kaise karega, kaise karega? Hey Baba, tu leader hai. That's the only thing that you do. What is happening is that please understand leadership, the final leadership we ever call is situational leadership. And at that time, the question to be asked is not what I want to speak is truth or untruth. The question to ask is that whether it is selfish for your own gain or not. And if you say it is not for my selfish gain, please tell that. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel had this particular question. That's a very interesting question. When India and Pakistan were getting split, please watch the movie Sardar. You know, the Parish Rawal film. They had to take a decision in that limited time. India and Pakistan were getting split. That time he's in a situation he can't sleep. And please understand, nobody is taking a decision. Huh? This guy is the rock. The whole world is looking up to him. Mountbatten is there, Jinnah is there, Gandhiji is there, Nehru is there. But everybody knows there's only one guy over there. That time, he tells his right-hand person, H.M. Patel, who later on became the first finance minister of India. आने वाला पीढ़ी हमसे ये पूछेगा शिशु कौन थे हमारे भविष्य का निर्णय लेने वाले? The coming generation will ask, who are you to split this particular country? Who gave you that authority to actually to split the country? But तब वो ये नहीं सोचेंगे कि किस परिस्थिति में और किस कारण से और किस व्यवस्था में और किस समय में हमने वो निर्णय लिया. Think about it. You will never go back to see how many people were going through what are problems. Remember, friends, for me, I think that the biggest success of this particular program is maybe 25, 30 years down the line, when the whole world is against you, and you are there as a leader for 500 people below you. A guy comes and offers you and says, listen, this is to be done, and you have to take a decision for which you have never taken. The question to be asked at that particular time is that, am I doing it for my praja or am I doing it for myself? And that the answer is not whether it is right or wrong or truth or untruth. It is about, in that situation, did I protect my country, my people, etc. So the last point I will say like that. In the Mahabharata, while teaching the theories of leadership to Yudhishthira, Bhishmacharya says, राजा का नजर सिंहासन पर नहीं होना चाहिए, प्रजा पर होना चाहिए, क्योंकि प्रजा ही नहीं रही तो सिंहासन भी नहीं रहेगा. Many of us think about I as a leader because of that chair, that position, but many times you have to let go your position for the sake of the people. Friend, for me, the whole question about truth or untruth is about what you say, is what you feel. Thank you so much. The last point is that I don't believe in copyrights, even though we are all scientists and believe in patents. This PPT will be given to you free of cost. Please use it, forward it. It is not something which I invented, it is something which is discovered by our knowledge. So we leave it with our Students' Council Chairman, but please make sure you are using it. And I look forward to coming back again. Thank you so much.
Please stand up for 2 minutes. On behalf of Students' Council and the allied audience present here, it is my pleasure to thank Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai for accepting our invitation on a short notice and for delivering an energizing talk. Thank you, sir. We hope the audience will take few of Chanakya's message to their home and apply in their fields. We Students' Council also have been applying some of your tips and we have found it very successful, sir. Now, I request Honorable Registrar Mohandas sir to honor the speaker with a small memento.
Can somebody take that in the front?
Thank you, sir. I thank CSIC office for providing this auditorium. And last but not the least, I must thank a special thanks to the whole audience because he messaged me 2 days back that he is in Bangalore and we didn't want to miss him. And this is semester vacation time and we were a little concerned about the audience. Thanks to all for coming and participating very enthusiastically. Thanks to you.